G'day, it's September 21st, spring equinox, so another update. And we've had a really wet August and September, very wet spring. So you can see our dam built last November is actually now full a few days ago and overflowing. Handling the water really well, catching a little bit of water in the ditch that goes up. It's got some seepage through, down the hill, and that's helped to fill the dam. We've also pumped some water from the ponds near the house to basically to reduce the amount of water there, and also to help top this up. But it has filled and overflowed, and it's spilling down over here nicely. Hello, Mama. Hello, Mama. Hello, you big. Hello, you big. Lie down. Hello, boy. What do you want, big boy? What do you want? So we've just done some tidy up around the front. So we're going to move the van that's up there. That van is going to come live over here. And we're going to build the super adobe roundhouse over there. So you can see the pond's full there. This pond's overflowing. I mean, it's nice to have this much water in the springtime, but it is very wet underfoot, and I'm hoping that fertility hasn't been leached away. Now, I think since our last update we've done some more earthworks. We had the front dam lined with clay, so it's full, and then we had these little circles dug, and then we hand dug them and shaped them to what we wanted. And basically this is the veggie chicken circle system, where that dome there gets put on here at the end of the harvest. So we're growing some veggies in here with the green manure. When we've harvested what we want, put the dome on there, put the chickens in there, feed the chickens food waste and mulch every day. They'll turn that and poop in it, and the stuff they don't want to eat will become a composted sort of thick mulch layer. And then say after that's done, maybe a week to 10 days to 2 weeks, you then by then have already harvested the next one and eaten more food from that, and then you move it and move it and move it, move it. When you get to the last one, if the first one's not quite ready yet, well then you move the chickens somewhere else in the meantime, and when you're ready you bring them back. And what it does is it forces you to do a successional planting and really do a good plan for that. And we've put mulch in all the paths, and the paths obviously collect some of the water. They're not 100% level like they probably should be, but you can see there that the water's collected there and it's left this bit dry. So we're going to also plant fruit trees in between there and along there. And over to the left there we had another pond dug, because this side collects quite a lot of water when it is wet, which it has done. And the excess little bit of leftover clay we've put around here and moved some of these big rocks here. So this is our campfire area, and we just did a bit of a repair job this morning because the water broke through there. So we've repaired that, and we're going to reseed this. Luckily we had really good clay underneath this pond, so when it was dug all the clay was already here, and the topsoil and the dirt that came out of there went up this way, where we've done a series of terraces. So this area had a big burn pile, trash, wood and stuff, and we ended up having to burn that, and then we've spread that char around and moved the excess soil from that pond to here, and then the guy came and terraced it as best as he could, and we still have to go through and manually level them out and put the rocks kind of on a lower point, lower side. So our idea here is to grow as many of our own grains. So I have one terrace of corn and one terrace of sorghum and one terrace of wheat, and even down the bottom try a terrace of rice, seeing as it's so wet down the bottom. So we've got a little bit more work to do here before it can be put into full production. And now that we have those veggie chicken circles, that'll be our main annual growing area, and this kitchen garden we're going to slowly convert to perennials. There's already some fruit trees I've planted which have been grafted recently, and yeah, but in between we'll keep putting annuals. There's some cucurbits and there's broad beans and flowering rocket and so on. So still very productive, but we just thought the chicken system would get the animals helping and doing some of the work for us. So behind our house back here, I just want to show you some of the fruit trees that are doing well. We're getting to that stage now where vegetables that we've left to self-seed just popping up, and we separate and move those into other places and leave some, and there's just food starting to just pop up for us with a small amount of work, low input, which is what we're aiming for. This is one of the large wild peach trees that we've grafted, and those grafts are looking really good. Most of them have taken. And I want to show you the grafts from last August. So these are the ones that all survived, and then they grew really well. I had to prune them 3 or 4 times, and they've just finished flowering. So it's going to be interesting to see all this beautiful fruit come on these trees, and hopefully there'll be, there's quite a lot of variety. It's been a really good, nice flowering where you get white flowers and pink flowers with a bit of green coming through too. So it's been stunning in the last few weeks. The apple trees are starting to get a few leaves on them now too. You can see the elderberry cutting, less than a year old, growing really well next to the takasasti. We've got the guinea pigs up here. This is kind of the second food forest area, and they're turning waste vegetable matter into fertilizer for us. And so I've planted some legume trees along here and done some prunings near the house. Have all come here and been chopped up finally. Our original food forest over here shows the legumes have caught up and overtaken some of the fruit trees and are now flowering, and soon will be chopped and dropped during the summer. The fruit trees are looking good too, quite healthy. Yeah, the biomass definitely accumulating. You see a bit of the water in the channel still seeping out of the ground. Finished rain, stopped raining a bit this morning, so it's going to seep for at least a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks even. Goats are up in the second paddock now. So they were at a paddock that goes up here above the food forest area. Now they kind of go up the hill a bit this way. They've got another shelter over here, and they go all the way down to our boundary alongside the duck areas. They have a little bit of common area. There's some ducks through over there. I don't know if you can see them. So they have some common area, and the ducks are happy because their pond's nice and full. We spent a lot of time in the last 3 months finishing off this paddock, raising the fences so the goats could come in here. We also reluctantly burnt some piles of wood trash, one here, one a bit further here, down there, and then we raked them flat, seeded them and hayed over them and watered them a little bit, and they're slowly growing. It's just tidied it up a lot and reduced the fuel load a bit. We still have some piles left that are too difficult to burn, so they'll be left there. But now the goats have this whole area to feed in, as you can see, and they eat the grass as well as all the little bushes. They even eat some eucalypt leaves. Yeah. Again, keeping it so that I don't have to come here with a weed eater and keep cutting it. Get the animals to do the work for us. And then because they come in every night to their pen, we get manure that we can then put where we want it.